the most popular place historically for a person to meet their spouse is one of three places: church, work, or the bar. Typically, people would go to church, right? Sundays, you'd go to church, maybe Wednesdays, depending on what denomination, you may go every day.
Yeah.
You know, Catholics go to Catholic Mass every morning.
Yeah.
So you're seeing people and you're constantly exposed to people. And then you have work and you have to work, right? Everybody needs to pay their bills. Most people need to go to work to make money. And then you see your coworkers and all that stuff. And then going to the bar. And it's funny because the world is changing constantly every day. And you'll see results like polls saying that church attendance is dropping. So it'll say organized religion has dropped this much since 2010 or something like that. Now, I don't really know about those statistics. I don't really know how they're gathered. I went to a conference recently and it had like 1,500 different people who were involved in church ministry. And hearing about how much church is changing people's lives was like, okay, the church isn't dead. So, but some would say that the church is definitely declining. And then people are doing mobile work. So they're working remotely. So then they don't see people. So all of these places that people can meet their spouses, they're kind of going by the wayside. And then now people are, I mean, you can try and get on Tinder or Hinge or wherever to do it that way. But then it's like, well, where do we meet people? So you see people going out.
I've been on Hinge before, but I never really used it. I don't know. The dating apps just didn't work for me.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, it just wasn't for me. I don't have time to like be texting and all that. You know, like if I meet someone on the app, I'll be like, okay, cool. Let's meet up. Let me see what you're like. Let me see. You know, it's all about connection and all that. And like once you realize that you really don't have the connection, you just swiped on the person based on looks. You know, so basically that's what those apps are doing. Is just like using more like how people look like.
Yeah, they are. They hack the brain.
Yeah.
Because then I know with the podcast, I've been taking stills and I'll take the still and then I'll put it in Lightroom and I'll edit it. Mm-hmm. And then I'll color grade it in Premiere Pro. Then I'll edit it in Lightroom. Yeah. And then I'll post it. So it's like all of these.
You're about to make me start looking like a model.
Right. No, you're going to look great. So all of these different After Effects. And then I could put that on Hinge, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. And then I could do it with 5 of my photos. Mm-hmm. But the statistics for Tinder, there's Jeff Hall. He's a professor at KU and he studies flirting. And he's looked at a whole bunch of Match.com data, which is really interesting. So there's a lot of research in it. I don't know if he did Tinder research, but I've seen.
We did build a dating app in one of our classes, and we did research on all that. So I think that's what also kind of messed it up for me. You know,
seeing the back end.
Yeah. So I was just like, no.
Yeah. With Tinder, it's something crazy. Like 5% of men get 95% of the swipes.
Yeah.
And then the other 95% of men have to deal with the other 5%. And it's similar for women, like a similar disproportion. The percentages are a bit different, but overall, it's not a good way to meet somebody for the masses. Yeah. For a few people, it's going to be great. You know, a few people may have, and I know people who are listening to this who they've met their husbands or their wives on through like the online platforms, and they're great, like, which is really cool. But I say the church is changing and work is remote to say that more people may feel pressured to go out, or more people will be going out. And like knowing how to navigate that nightlife scene is a skill. Like it takes a while.
Yeah.